Good morning. We are in Ohio. We are uh, we are south and east of Cleveland, and so we're gonna do a cross country flight. We're starting at a small GA airport, like I said, south and east of Cleveland, and we're gonna fly to Youngstown, and then fly up to Meadville, and then we're gonna end up back in Erie at KERI. Um, we are, of course, in VR. And yesterday I flew. It was really, really, really cloudy. And we started in Buffalo and flew to Erie. The frames were really bad. And they were, well, let me rephrase that. They were bad enough that they affect VR. In other words, if I move my head right now, uh, that prop stays in one place. My view changes, but the prop doesn't do anything. Yesterday, my frames were around 30. And if I move my head back and forth, then I'd almost see two images of that prop. And that's the deal with VR is if the frames get too low, then my view gets kind of weird. It doesn't necessarily transmit to the stream, though. As I found out when I look at the VODs, it doesn't necessarily transmit to the stream. So that's kind of cool. But that's kind of the goal today. We're just going to do a cross country flight, much like I did in my training. And we'll get the plane started here. And just as point of reference, so of course, I'm running X-Plane 12. And this is beta 2. And I'm running a 900K with a 3090 and with 64 gigs of RAM in it. So I'm running a pretty high-end machine, but the machine was built specifically to do what I do. I stream VR. So let me get the plane started, and we'll kind of go from there. So we'll turn on the battery, turn on the beacon, mixture in, taxi light on, avionics on. Oh, where are we? So we're west going towards 30. So let me roll this guy around the west, going towards 30. So right about, yeah. You are sometimes annoying. Yeah, it looks about right. Okay. So, elevation, if I remember right, that looks right. I got to get a flight plan loaded in here. So without that highlighted, if I rotate this and then highlight it, cursor, whoops, kind of crazy. It only goes one way. So we're at POV, KPOV. So if I go enter, then yeah, that should be good. And we'll let the plane warm up just a little bit here. Make sure I got everything pretty much where I want it. This is set right. Elevation is about right. If I remember right, it was 1200 or close, like 999 or something like that. 111999, something like that. So I've got Avatab. Let me bring I'll bring a map up. So let me go get me a sectional. Geo tips. Up directory. Charts. Sectional. Detroit. Sectional. Excuse me. So that's where we are in a sectional map. I have Navigraph. So what Navigraph allows me to do is, well, what Avatab allows me to do is have the plane on the sectional. So That's zoomed in quite a bit. I'm going to back it up a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So you can see that's Akron. Akron's down here. Cleveland's up north a little bit. So that's kind of where we are. Let me just go back. I want the airport information so I don't get lost. And what do we need? What do we need for a frequency? So this program here is pilot to ATC, so it is my ATC. So if I click on frequency, so well, we can listen to ATIS, I guess. Yeah, let's listen to ATIS to begin with. So when I clicked on that highlighted, it put it in the bottom. So if I flip it, that should be ATIS. We'll see. It's kind of quiet. So since that's not working, I'm going to go to Unicom. Say weather.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf weather at Kilo Papa Oscar Victor is clear. Visibility is 7 miles, winds are light and variable cloud coverage is clear. Current altimeter is 3006. Temperature 202.16.
Say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 09er.
So, whenever they tell you a runway, it's always good to make sure that that's true. So, I've got to get over here. There isn't any really taxiways, so I think I'm going to go this way back here, go across the end of this runway, and actually I'll just see what, because since there's no tower, it's ATIS, so I don't. Good morning, Downwind Sim. I hope you're having a great morning. I know I am. My frames are much improved over yesterday. So, yeah, we're out here south of Cleveland. Going to do a little bit of a cross-country flight. Weather seems pretty nice, and so that's kind of what we're up to. So all I got to do is figure out how to get from point A to point B. Says my plane is pointed that way. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, you know me. I normally just kind of chatter along. So, alrighty, got to see if I can figure out where I'm going. I'll put you right about there. So we got the plane warmed up. Yep, the plane's warmed up enough. We got enough fuel. So let's move a little bit and see where it says. But the diagram seems a little weird to me, but I'm gonna go down here a little bit and see what my map says. Because I have a hard time believing. Yeah. I just have a hard time believing that there's a runway over there. Nope, there's not. So we'll go out here a little bit. Hold on the brake. Alrighty. Seems odd. Hey, try this again. I didn't think that was obvious what it was telling me, but maybe it is. Okay, I think I'm almost know where I am now. So, and this is a little odd that we have white taxiway lines. Not so sure why we do that. So if I go up this way, oops, nope, down this way. Then we go down this way across the end of that runway. There's a taxiway on the other side. As long as I kind of have a little bit of a clue what I'm doing. Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. So we're going to go on there. Yeah, but all these lines are white, and I'm not so sure. I mean, we're in the USA. Maybe in Europe they have white white lines, but at least all the airports I've been at, the taxiway lines are yellow. So it seems a little weird to me. So this is the end of the runway here. So we're gonna scoot across the end of it here. And now they're yellow here. That's interesting. That's interesting. Hopefully there's no planes coming. Yeah, it might. It does. It does. That's the other thing I'm kind of doing is I'm trying to pick airports that are not too far away. And so if there are airports that I may fly to and they need help, I'll give them some help. Because one thing I know for sure is the new assets that X-Plane 12 is bringing to airport stuff is really nice. I mean, everything is nice. So it's kind of fun to kind of bring that stuff to the to the scenery gateway. So, but the first one is Erie. As soon as I can, I've already got quite a bit of work done, but I tried to submit it, and because I'm using I'm using X-Plane 12 assets. They won't accept it. So I said, yeah, okay, well, I'll just kind of wait, and I locked it. So it's kind of like now, I got it locked, and as soon as you let me, I'll submit it. But I tried, and it was I got this warning. It says, hey, you're using assets from X-Plane 12. Yeah, I know I am. That's kind of the point. And I understand that. I got no problems at all with that. But what I didn't want is like what happened right before 55 went final. Put the parking brake on. Right before 55 went final, somebody redid Erie, KERI. But what they did do is they basically started from scratch. So any of the previous work I had done, that was just thrown out. And I was upset. I was really upset. And I was kind of like, what on earth? So once I kind of got over that, I went ahead and looked at what they did. And what they did, a lot of it was really nice. It was. But a lot of it, like the distance signs, in Erie, there's actual distance signs. They're all gone. They just weren't there. It's kind of like, I want Erie to look like it does in real life. I don't want it to be some artist representation of Erie. I want it to be what it looks like in real life. So I went back, and the last airport now, I think the one that got released with 12, that's mine. That's my rework, but I wasn't completely done, and I was using X-Plane 11 assets. So but now I've reworked it now with X-Plane 12 assets, and it looks a lot nicer. And every place there is a sign in real life, there is a sign, and so that's kind of you know. I'm a bit personal about it because it's where I learned how to fly, and I know what it looks like, and I don't I want it to look like real life. So Alrighty, I guess we can fly an airplane now. So let me get some switches on here. We okay here? Yeah, I'll do that after I take off. Brakes off. I don't need to get permission because there's nobody to talk to. But Cessna 6 Bravo Golf taking runway 09.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Portage County Unicom on 123.05. Please repeat your request.
No request, just a statement. Alrighty, let's go fly an airplane. Whoops. So sometimes it seems like this GPS takes a while to wake up. I don't know. How far we got to go? We didn't got too far. We got 24 miles to go, so I'll probably let her climb up to about 3,000 and level her off there. So. Yeah, I was when I seen you were doing that. I was kind of wondering about that. They're a little too nice to lose, at least for me, anyhow. So so I'm going to go about this a little differently. You've got way more ortho than I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for Simhaven to get their X-Plane solve stuff ready or finished, and I have and then I'm going to use the Simhaven stuff and see if that's good enough for me. So so that's kind of what I'm going to do. So. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you completely understand, you know, like how all that stuff works way better than I do. And be interested to see what you come over. Yeah, and they're going to call it X World now. And so that's going to be kind of interesting because he's going to use the X-Plane 12 vegetation stuff. So so there's going to be a new vegetation file for 412. So so that's going to be kind of interesting. So we're kind of towards the middle of Ohio, still kind of the northern part, and so we're on our way to Youngstown. That was one of my one of the airports I would fly when I was a student pilot. So you kind of know what the area is, and you just kind of know. It's all pretty flat here, real flat actually. So Youngstown. So Youngstown has a tower. So I'm going to put the tower in the standby frequency. Set COM1 standby 119.500.
COM1 standby set to 119.5.
See if you think it's tower. No, you don't. Oh, that's why. My plane command got the frequency wrong. Or I said it wrong. I don't know which. So, Youngstown elevation. 1191. So, about 2,000 feet, maybe 2,200 feet will be Youngstown. So, good afternoon, Kishman. How are you doing? How is everything in Liverpool this morning? So, if I think about this right, it's probably afternoon in Liverpool. Yeah, so we're on another cross-country flight. Quite a bit less clouds today, and so frames are also better. So my frames are, yeah, we're doing real good today. So, excuse me. It's kind of looking at the native, the default scenery, and it's really cool the way the trees like come right up against the roads. They don't go on the roads, but they come right up alongside the roads. They're just full, like right up to the road. That's really nicely done. That is so cool the way that does it. So here it's all forested, and then this here must be like farmland. But right to the farmland, that's where the tree line goes. That's pretty neat the way that's done. And my understanding is it's OpenStreetMap that allows them to actually do this. So we're not using Bing or Google or any of that stuff. This is predefined mapping. So, and it all basically resides on your hard drive. So there isn't any of the issues where if the server goes down, all of a sudden the scenery goes away. So there isn't any of those issues. So. Do I need anything? No, not right now. Maps. So there's the airport we're going to. And when I get about 10 out, I'll go ahead and make a call, and I'll switch over to tower, and I will. Excuse me. I'll see what runways active. So right now I'm about 13. Yeah. I picked up my graphics. So I took my FRS. I turned it off. It makes the 530 look better. So now I can like look over here and I can see that's 11.5. So I'm probably close enough. Say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 14.
14. Do I believe you? Yeah, 9,000 feet. Yeah. I guess I'll believe you. The 9,000 foot runway? All right. So we'll put the heading bug over on 14. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good morning. Squawk 1200 altimeter is 3006, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 14. Call downwind.
Enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 14 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Okay, so I am almost on a 14 heading. And so I got to get out to the left if I think about this right. Yeah, I got to get out to the left. So so I got to figure out. First, I have to see the airport, and right now I don't. But I'm 7 miles out, so I'm a ways. Not a long ways, but a ways out. So 14, my nose has to be pointed this way. So if I have to be on the left downwind, then it means I have to get off here over to the left, and then I'm going to do a teardrop to come in, and that'll put me on the left downwind. So when I do that 180, then my heading bug will be on the bottom. And at that point in time, when I'm on the downwind, I'm going to make a call to say that I want to do a touch and go. So yeah, it is. I don't know, and I've talked to Jim, about it, and actually I think that's the airport right there. So I got to get figured out what I'm gonna do here. Yeah, because I talked to Jim about it, and oh, where are you? Oh, let me. Yeah, I talked to him, and it's like if you do it in 2D, the things that the things you have to interact with, they don't disappear in 2D, but in VR they disappear. So yeah, you have to actually take your pointer and point at it for the commands to show up. And if you stay off it too long, then they go away. It's kind of like, really? So. Didn't seem receptive. I'm trying to find my runway here. Is it that one? Yeah, it's gotta be. Oh, okay. All right, it's this guy here. All right. Oh, okay. I don't. It actually works pretty good for me. I'm just kind of trying to figure this out right now. Excuse me. So my runway's over here on my right. So I got to get over here on the left and spin around and get ready to do a downwind. So just took me a little while. I was far enough away and I'm too high that there was a lot of shimmer on the runway and it was hard to discern. But now I know where it is and it's going the right direction. Then hopefully I know what I'm doing. Yeah, because in Pilot to HTC, I normally do these kind of flights, just a GA flight, you know, and just kind of show up at an airport. And normally I have a flight plan installed, but it isn't like I'm really following it. It's more of a guide, you know, I mean, so. Yeah, I kind of messed up when I took off from the other airport. I had full power, and then I put autopilot on with full power. I kind of messed up that way, so I couldn't figure out. I took off the autopilot, and all of a sudden I'm climbing. I'm like, why am I climbing? Well, it's because you give it full power. Alrighty, let's see if we can get her turned around here. I'm gonna tear out a little bit. I think I'm far enough away. Turn in. Give me a little better view. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind, runway 14.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf call turning final for runway 14.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 128 at 6 knots, cleared for the option runway 14.
Cleared
Okay.
touch and go runway 14 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Alrighty. So, back with the power. 1 notch of flaps. Runway is 8,000 feet. Probably good here. Two notches of flaps in, all I'm going to use. Try and let the plane continue to descend. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 128 at 6 knots, cleared for the option runway 14.
Cleared touch and go runway 14 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Kind of overshot that a little bit. Alrighty, that went pretty well. Try to maintain runway heading here. Yeah, this is both a civilian and military. There's a National Guard unit here, so they're based over on the left here. So they fly C-130s out of here. And there's two runways here. There's this one and this one. I think there's another one. There's another one that's kind of small. That was kind of weird. The cars weren't on that parking lot, and all of a sudden, boom, they showed up. Kind of a level of detail thing. Alrighty. First landing turned out pretty good. So we're 30 miles or so from Meadville. And I think I gotta go this way. So CTAP at Meadville, elevation's 1,300. So no pretty clouds today, but the frames are better. Still heading a little bit too far east. Set COM1 standby 123.000.
COM1 standby set to 123.0.
Okay. So we got the Unicom for Meadville in the standby frequency, and left the tower frequency from Youngstown in the active. Oops. So Meadville is also an airport that I've landed in a few times, quite a few times, really. And the flight school that I taught, the flight school I used was in Erie at the time, and they had some falling outs with the management there in Erie, so they moved to Meadville. So that's where the flight school is now. Another flight school that's taken basically their office space, and so there's actually like two flight schools in the Erie area now, where there was only just one. So not sure what all happened there, but something happened because they didn't renew the lease for the older flight school. So. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I will take a look. I'm trying to see if this thing, if this GPS will actually intercept this course. I have been trying to make it kind of put it on the course, but I decided not to do that. I'm just gonna wait. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Yep, it is. Yes, yeah. Yeah, because I've been like interacting with excuse me. Oh, the dude that Mark, yeah, Mark, uh, about because he flies. He's a student pilot, and so he flies the 172 too. And he was complaining about the autopilot and it not working as he thought it should. So that's the other reason why. Part of the reason I'm flying with an autopilot is to make sure it actually kind of behaves. And so far, that seemed to do what it should have done. So. So it looks like that must be Mosquito. I'm here. I'm looking there. Yeah, it's got to be. We're kind of at the edge of it. Yeah, so that's Mosquito Reservoir. So it kind of, the tip of it kind of points to Youngstown. Youngstown's right there. So I didn't think it was Pymatuming. I think this is Pymatuming here. So if I'm flying this way, yeah, that's further up. I can give you a link, but not while I'm in VR. If you just search for Explain Bug Report, just Google it, it'll show up. Make sure you don't pick the mobile one, though, because there's two of them. There's one for mobile, and then there's one for desktop. So, but it'll show up. It's at the top of the list. If whenever I Google it, it's always at the top of the list. Yeah, because that's one thing I'm on org there. These people like, well, I found this bug. Simple. Did you file a bug report? I mean, if you found it, that's great. Discussing it on the org isn't going to get it fixed. And the more people that file a bug report for the same thing, then Laminar fully understands this is more important than one person filed a bug report. So that's relevant also. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the water up further, that's Pymatuming Reservoir. Yeah, that's this here. Yeah, depending on the runway here, it may be one is kind of a little, one end is a little strange because there's like a hill. There's like a hill pretty close to the end of it. So when you're coming in on approach on that one, it's a pretty big optical illusion. You think you're closer to the ground than what you really are. You're close to the ground, but because it's a hill, you seem like you're closer to the ground than what you really are. So a lot of times when I'm doing it, I'll end up too high, you know, when I cross the threshold, you know. So, but I've done it enough now that it doesn't. I'm a lot better at it. So. Because there's a lot of trees in the area, so. That can't possibly be right. Really? Didn't really plan on doing that. That's better. For some reason, I was saying that this 12300 was Youngstown Tower. Say active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 07.
Okay. So we're 5 miles away from the airport. Trying to find it. Oh. If I can see it in time, I'll do a straight in approach, but if I can't see it in time, then I'm not going to do that. Let me get the autopilot off. Because I'm kind of approaching this from kind of a different direction than I normally do. Yeah, that's it right there. $23. So want to get level about here. So I'll fly out by it, and then I'll do a downwind for 7. This road here, this 4-lane, this is 79. It goes up to Erie. I'm at pattern altitude, trying to get to the other side of the runway here. Just trying to keep pretty good speed and right at pattern. Yeah, you always look for clear spots, and there was a whole bunch of clear spots, but none that I could see that looked like I could see the shimmer of the runway. So, but finally I looked and I went, oh, there it is, and I had it on my GPS. So, all righty. So we're certainly too fast. We're about the right distance from the runway. We're at pattern altitude, so everything to me is looking good. So when we get to where the numbers are, I'll reduce the power, put a set of flaps out, and get ready to do a touch and go. All righty. 1 notch of flaps. Trim the plane so it's descending. Not crazy, but up. So we're looking to be 45 degrees. 45 degrees. Second notch of flaps. Same thing, trying to get the plane to descend. About 500 feet per minute is kind of the goal here. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final for runway 07.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Youngstown clearance delivery on 124.9er 5. Please repeat your request.
I got what I thought was a little slow there. And a little, not slow, but a little low. And we got a tree right on final. Awesome. But according to Pappy's, we're good. So pull out some of that power I put in. Whoops. Really? Whoa, whoa. Yeah, all righty. I'll take that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but so you have this big hill. So when you're coming in, landing on the other end of the runway this way, you know, you've got all these trees and stuff. It's quite a bit of elevation change, and so it's a bit of an optical illusion as to what's going on. So, and the new trees are even more so because they're fuller. So on to Erie. 25. You think they're too tall? Well, on the end of the runway, they probably are, but. They're probably only too tall if you hit them. Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, yeah, yep. Yeah, that one didn't look like that really belonged there, but it didn't affect my approach too much. I wasn't that close to it. That turned out to be a pretty nice day. So we're on our way to Lake Erie, and you can almost see the lake through the haze. It's kind of hard to discern that, but you kind of have to look through the haze and see the blue behind it. I had some craziness the other day. I was in VR, and I was trying to show off the waves and the waves on the lake. Man, there was some graphical craziness going on. It was like sawtooth, you know, like pointy things, like sticking up, and not everywhere, but like close into you. You looked out further, you didn't see it, but up close, you saw it. It looked pretty odd. But I've seen them. I played around with it in 2D, and it looked really, really nice. So it's like a couple of things that way that in VR are have some real issues. But but in 2D, like, you don't. So there's quite a few people on the org there that I think they're running HP Reverb G2s, and they're having a heck of a time with clouds. That their clouds are all pixelated and doing all kinds of craziness. And I just like, today I was gonna try to adjust some sliders while I was flying, but there's no clouds to play with, so no chance to do that. But yesterday I was flying in Buffalo. I was flying from Buffalo. Buffalo there was a lot of clouds. It was scattered, but there was a lot of clouds, and they all look good. I mean, so I actually had one guy and one person in chat that was saying that my clouds actually look better. So I'm streaming VR, and my clouds are looking better than what he can get on a 4K monitor. And I was like, seriously? Wow, that's kind of crazy. I don't understand that. So I don't understand how different it can be. I would say that. I would say that. They're not crisp on the edges, and I'm thinking that's an intentional thing to try to improve its performance. But as far as looking bad, no, I've seen what bad clouds look like, where at one point in the development, like the upper clouds look great, but the lower clouds going down to the surface, yeah, they would. When you moved to headset, they would dance around. I mean, they were really bad. So, but since we've Alpha 37 and on, they've been they look good to me. So. Alrighty, we're about 14 miles, so what do we got, 6 minutes? Yeah, 5 minutes. So we're getting there. So this will be our final destination. If we're on 7, more than likely we're going to be landing on 6, so we'll have to find out. Setcom 1 standby, 118.100.
Com 1 standby set to 118.105.
That's not what I said. Setcom 1 standby, 118.100.
Com 1 standby set to 118.1.
Sometimes I don't enunciate enough for him. Say, active runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 07.
No. Say weather.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf weather at Kilo Golf Kilo Juliet is clear. Visibility is 10 miles, winds are 126 at 5 knots, cloud coverage is clear. Current altimeter is 3008. Temperature 20°.16.
Say active runway at Kilo Echo Romeo India Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 07.
You kidding me? Say active runway at Kilo Echo Romeo India. I didn't say Meadville. Normally, if you say it specifically, it will. We'll try this. Stay active, runway.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf arriving and departing runway 24.
That's better. Every once in a while that happens. I think it's because I put a flight plan in, and I told it was VFR, so it's got all this stuff here. You know, 45 to downwind, turn base, turn final, and I think because it didn't think I did all that stuff. That's probably the problem. So Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land, runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200 altimeter is 3005, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 02. Call downwind.
Enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 02 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Still ain't got it right. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf inbound to land, runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf Squawk 1200, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 24. Call downwind.
Enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 24 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
No, I'm not. If you don't want to, fly on like an online network, I mean, Pilot to ATC is probably the best that I've found. So I don't complain a whole lot. And if things are like blatantly wrong, consistently, not every once in a while, then I'll just get a hold of Dave and say, hey, this is what I got, and I'll send him the log files for Pilot to ATC, and he's usually really good. Because I'm actually running like a beta. He has public betas, but I have a private beta that I've been using. So, alrighty, there's the airport. There is the runway. There is the peninsula with the pretty blue lake. Oh yeah, he's pretty attentive. I mean, I appreciate that. So, alrighty. Get this guy slowed down a little bit here. I'm kind of streaming in here. Excuse me. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf downwind, runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 24.
Alrighty. And a lot of times with Pilot to ATC, it's how you say it that you'll just confuse it. So, alrighty. So there are the numbers. Back to 1600. Trim for some airspeed here. Alrighty, turn on base. One more notch of flaps. Going to turn to a heading of 330. I have a tendency, I've been getting way better. When I turn like this, I tend to pull back on the yoke. So the airspeed drops. Kind of like, you're doing a turn, so come on, don't do that. Alrighty. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf turning final. I thought I'm using X-Planes ATC for a minute here. Still do. See, I got lined up here. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf on final.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 180 at 9 knots, cleared to land runway 24.
Cleared to land runway 24 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
And sometimes I think I'm just in a hurry, and I don't give it enough time.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf exit runway when able.
Okay. Not going to make that one. Really? Poor and early flare for a butter landing. Unbelievable. Yeah, thank you. Whoa. Well, tip plane over. Oh. Right here is where you can get the call wrong. If you don't say it right, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, clear of active runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, welcome to Erie International Ridge, contact ground on 121.9er. Have a good afternoon.
Ground on 121.9er Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
Yeah, if you try to shorten that up, doesn't work. She'll like, it just doesn't work. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf requests taxi to General Aviation Parking.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf taxi to General Aviation Parking via taxiways Alpha, Echo, Bravo, hold short runway 02.
Taxi to General Aviation Parking via taxiways Alpha, Echo, Bravo, hold short runway 02 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
I've been using it long enough and getting frustrated with it at times that I finally learned that, is that's real important. Evidently, that's a keyword, to make sure. For a while, and this, another thing I need to mention is, yeah, I'm using like a private data, but the one thing that Pilot to HTC is looking for the what is it called? METAR.RXW or something like that in the root of X-Plane. Well, in X-Plane 12, that doesn't exist. So the weather information, won't be right. And so what I ended up doing is I wrote a Flywood Lewis script that basically every 15 minutes I tell it to run a batch file that basically copies the latest weather information from X-Plane 12 to a METAR.RXW file, and so it does that every 15 minutes to keep it updated and current. Then the airport, the sim weather is within 15 minutes of each other. It seems to work quite well, so I've been using that for a while now. So. And because before I did that, I couldn't figure out why why would I get two different runways? If I checked with ATIS, I'd get a different runway than if I checked with Pilot to ATC. And then when I realized that, then I had to figure out how you actually do that, because X-Plane 12, they have about, I think it's 3. After it gets going, they have about three different METARs in there. So I had to figure out, how does that work? What's a numbering
Cessna 6
convention?
Bravo Golf cleared to cross runway 02.
Cleared to cross runway 02 Cessna 6 Bravo Golf.
How do they name it? And because it isn't the same, because basically it's a date and a time. So I just basically grab the actual date and time, and do a search for it, and when it hits, then it'll go ahead and copy it. So it works quite well. So I'm pretty happy. The other thing is the ground traffic here is different in 12. And when I first did this airport, this big truck here, he has even though he's only maybe 3 times as big, his turn radius is probably 10 times as big. So when I had the original ground traffic, the routing, it would like turn through this building where that glass is. It would turn right through it. So I basically moved it out from the pumps, where he comes to arrest is out from the pumps, because when he comes in, he makes such a big circle, that I got to keep him like away from the pumps, away from the building. So that's all like a little bit different too. So if you look at the 2 trucks, they're not that much different, but his turn radius is monstrous. And the previous developer of this airport, so they had basically, I talked to Jan about how ground traffic's supposed to work, and because I didn't know, but I knew it just seemed a little bit weird, because the previous airport, all this over here, this is all general aviation. And there wasn't these parking spots. There's like 4 of them here. This is where the flight schools tie their planes down. It's all GA stuff. Previous iteration of this airport had static all here, so you could never park here. So you had to park over there. In the same way, it had an airliner tug over here. There's never been an airliner tug over here. And so there was all kinds of just subtle things. So I asked Jan, like, how's this supposed to work? And basically, this is what he told me, is that I've basically set up a pattern. So right there's a parking spot. There's 2 of them. There's one for the little truck, one for the big truck. And then where do they go? So they go over to the fuel tanks. So there's a stop spot here. So there's one close for the little truck, one further out for the big truck. And then this network is kind of connected over to where the planes, where the actual commercial traffic shows up over here. So there's but you don't have them go here, because the way it's supposed to work is if an airliner calls for a fuel truck, it'll come from there and go over here. You don't have it. I don't have AI aircraft, no, but there is the ground traffic for the trucks and that kind of stuff. So the trucks won't ever come over here unless they're called by an aircraft. They'll come over here because there's routing that kind of tells them where to go. Because I wasn't sure like how all that was supposed to work, and I talked to Jan, and we had a pretty long conversation about how that stuff was supposed to work. So I reworked this airport with that knowledge in mind, because there was like tugs going in places, and they would just they'd go right through airplanes and stuff. I mean, but it was all in how the airport was designed for ground traffic, and so I learned quite a bit when I was kind of like redoing that. So, alrighty, this went quite well today. Pretty nice day, no clouds, but that's okay. So, awesome. Yeah, I just generally don't. It doesn't hurt the immersion for me. I guess is the right way. There's some people that now you got to have some AI aircraft and all that stuff, but it doesn't hurt that immersion for me. So, because quite frankly, in Erie, we have airplanes show up at around 6 o'clock in the morning, around noon, and around 6 in the afternoon. Airliners and all that stuff, they don't show up any other time. that's the only time. So the majority of the time, if you're like a GA dude, you're not dealing with any traffic like that at all. So so it's kind of like how I remembered the airport. It's kind of a laid back place. So, but when was on one of my solos, so I took off, and I can't believe the controller actually did this. So I take off, and I'm taking off on 2-4, so I'm going to the west. And so I take off, I turn on my crosswind, I'm on the downwind. Controller gets on the radio and says, he calls my call sign, he says, do a 360. I'm like, I'm sure my instructor is just going in panic mode, kind of like, so I'm okay, I'll comply with you. So I did a 360, and he made sure that he says do a 360 to the right. So I did a 360 to the right, come back on the downwind, and so when we get on the ground, I mean, my instructor's just going nuts. And what was going on is that just after I had taken off, there was a commercial coming in, and he was trying to keep us apart. That's what he was trying to do. So that was what his plan was. So, but to do that on a solo, that's a trip. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if I've talked to anybody else on their solo that actually happened. So, but I just took it in stride. It was like not a big deal. It's kind of like, okay, that's what you want me to do. That's what you do. So, yes, I can. Where do you want it? I got it. I actually have it on the org, and I'll give you a link. I'll give you a link, and because I actually have it on the org, so I put it on. Well, somebody else was looking for something like that. Oh, I know. The Avatar guys were looking for something like that. So, but I'll give you a link. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll absolutely do that. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day. What time is it? Yeah, I've flown for. I started around 11. Yeah, I've flown for about an hour and a half. That's not too bad. So, it all went well. So, alrighty. We're gonna end this stream, and once again, thanks for everybody who stops by. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this content, please click on the follow button so that when I do go live, you'll get notified, and you'll know. See you later, downwind. Oh yeah, same thing. Same thing. I enjoy it so much. And so just click on the follow button, and you'll know when I go live. And I'll be doing live in X-Plane 12 most days for a while now. Next week, most days. Friday we leave to go to Denver, so I'll be kind of off the grid for about 3 or 4 days. We're gonna go out to Denver. My girlfriend's niece is she retired from the service, and we're having a party out there. So without any further ado, I'm gonna call it in the end. Bye bye.